Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm at the Old Manor House and I thought we could have a little look around since it's spring and the tulips are coming up and everything's bursting to life, and I just want to show you this is my new potting shed where I get to grow plants and bring things on and cultivate things. And look at this, is a lovely carnation I grew from a cutting. It's a show one, and some lovely little bits of plants here which Sian grew for me. You might have seen the video with Sian's garden. These are straw flowers which we use for drying, and we'll do that later in the summer when it's time for that. But I've got lots of little bits and pieces growing in here and I'll show you in a minute. It's a little bit unruly as you can expect with a potting shed. Thank you for watching, for subscribing. I'm really pleased that you're all liking my videos and I'm really glad you can be here today. So let's go and have a look around. And here we are in the potting shed. This is my little growing on area. We've got some little cuttings I took, some blood leaves there, a little bit weedy, hoping they'll pick up. Some delphiniums ready to go out. Some cosmos from Sian, thank you very much. Some sweet peas that need pricking out, perennial ones. Alchemilla mollis. We've got some comelinas there, little blue flowers, and some Persicaria purple fantasy. There's lots of these in pots. I'm hoping we can sell a few to make some money to buy some more plants for the gardens. So this is the potting shed. Got a nice big window, and you won't have seen out there because we've been changing it this winter. There's the view. Let's go and have a look around the other side. So a few weeks ago this was just a patch of grass. I'm not sure if you remember seeing it in any videos if I put it in, but there's a potting shed that's going to be painted a nice willow green when it's time. Obviously can't do it at the moment because it's too damp and it's always raining, so we'll wait for the sun to come out. We've got this nice little avenue here, and we've got the cultivation bed there where we'll be growing some sweet peas and runner beans and things. There's some raspberry canes there. Still a bit to sort out, some entrails of plants waiting to go in. The canes are ready there for the runner beans. And these are going to be some sweet peas up here. You can't quite see very well, but there we are. There is a little pot. So I've yet to design this bed because I haven't decided quite what we're going to do with it. Let's have a little look around here. It looks really pretty. And a little planter on the wall there. And going through to the orchard, you can see the pear trees in full blossom now. That's going to be full of fruit later in the year. And some apple trees and cherry trees in amongst all of that. See, I've got little plants going here. I've got a rose that I brought from home, which I transplanted. This is James Galway, and he's growing well, thank goodness. When I dug it up, it fell into 3 pieces, so there's 2 more pieces in the walled garden just through there. And there's the old water butt, which is naturally full. We've got this old iron railing, probably from the seaside somewhere. Little bits of plants here and there, hollyhocks. I've got some clematis growing up this slightly rustic looking arch. And then there you can see the greenhouse is absolutely full of plants. Not the tidiest place, but never mind, it never will be. Always working. Some nice daffodils in the centre. I'll go back a little bit, it looks nice. I'll quickly show you what's going on in the greenhouse. Lots and lots of seedlings in trays. Well, hopefully seedlings. I planted these about a week or 2 ago. And all you can see, there's some sweet peas coming up here. Some poppies in these ones. Poppies don't like to be transplanted, so I put them into these little pots here. They were from the supermarket, not very much. And you put them straight into the ground. So when you put them in there, this poppy seeds particularly, you don't disturb the roots, so they don't have a problem. Normally they sulk and die, but with this way they should be fine. I've got some foxglove, sweet williams, cosmos, they're always the first to come up, and all sorts mixed. These came from a magazine. What else? Lavender, mirabilis, lovely big angel trumpet flowers. It's not the one that you're thinking, the datura. This is another sort. This is a 4 o'clock plant, but hoping they're going to start growing soon. I've got Scabiosa Fata Morgana there. You can see they've just appeared this morning. The Nicotiana, only the lonely, they get gigantic. Cosmos, tall Versailles flush. They're a beautiful flower. Sweet Williams, they're all coming. Lots of Lunaria. I saved all the seeds. A lot of them self-seed outside, but I wanted to make sure I got the ones I wanted. These are purple variety called Ched Glow, which are nice. I bought one last year, and now I've got all these seedlings, and so I'm trying to get them going, because they're biennial, they don't always survive. So here we have lots of lupins, which I grew from seed. They're just starting to come through. As you can see, there's a root at the bottom there. Not much at the top, but once the roots get established, the plants will rocket. These are euonymus cuttings from the front garden. I wanted to put these around some new statues, so I couldn't find them to buy. I only ever saw them in great big pots for about £12, so I'm not paying that. And we can get them for nothing. So here we are, some bits of cuttings shoved into these pots and left over winter. Now they're all growing, and there should be some. I did peep, I shouldn't have looked, but there were some roots underneath one of them, but they're coming anyway. Tradescantias there, they're going to go in baskets outside in the beds. They look really exotic. All of last year's geraniums there. All the fuchsias are saved. Worth doing. I made this little bubble wrap cover here. So rather than doing the whole greenhouse, which would take me forever, I just made this little, because I've got a top shelf and a bottom shelf. I thought I'd just make a little place for them to go, and they've all survived the winter in there. Done really well. Little echinaceas there, something's been in here eating them. Always check under your pots, because if there's going to be a slug or a snail, that's where they'll be hiding. No doubt there's one near here, which I shall find, don't you worry. All the fuchsias coming, little flowers on that one. So all of these are going to go back out into the gardens, and it's a good way to look after them, because they are quite tough actually, but you just need to keep them out of the bad weather and they'll do really well. And you can keep them for years if you've got the energy and time to do it. And more echiums there. These are all seedlings from my garden at home. They all grow up in the grass. I had one that grew to 4 meters a couple of years ago. Obviously it's not big enough for them now, so hopefully they can grow here. They don't like the winters though, so especially around here it's quite difficult to keep them going, but we shall see. We've been very busy bees in the garden this last couple of weeks. We've been concentrating on making it look really pretty. We've got some visitors coming in a fortnight, and so we're getting it ready for them coming. The tulips are out, everything's growing. We're just starting with some mulching here. We've got some leaf mould which is collected from all the trees, and it's deposited right at the back in the compost mines, and we put that, I don't put it on, but the gentleman whose house it is, he does quite a bit as well, and he puts all this lovely leaf mould down. It really makes the soil look lovely. It doesn't add a lot of nutrients, but it does improve the structure of the soil no end. It sets everything off really well. And look at those tulips, they're really enjoying being shown off so much. I think this one's, I can't remember its name, I've forgotten me, apricot fox or something. But I'll put a name on when I've found it out. And this is the leaf mould I've been talking about. All of this comes from the trees in the gardens. And we layer it up and stack it in a corner for a couple of years. It turns into this lovely, dark, rich, fibrous product. And then it gets spread onto the flower beds and it makes them look really nice. I said before, it improves the soil structure and it gives a really nice look to everything. It really sets it off. Just look at the tulips with it there. It's absolutely lovely. Just have a little walk along this path here. This is the what we call the back of the garden. Not sure which direction it faces, but it doesn't get much sun as the other side. You can see the tulips there are salmon impression. Now last year they were a more pale colour, and this year they're much darker. So I'm not sure what that's about, but these are Darwin hybrids, so they'll tend to come back every year without much trouble. I've just been doing these beds, tidying them up, putting new things in. Got some lovely anemones there. I'm not going to say the name of the blue one because it sounds rude. I'll write it down for you. And there's some red ones. Fortunately they're next to the pink, so it doesn't look so great, but never mind. It's all colour, isn't it? And we've been devoid of it so much this winter. It's lovely to see anything. There's the playing card there. I'm not sure what his name is in Alice in Wonderland, but next to him is a Photinia, which is called Pink Crispy. I found these at the garden centre 2 years ago, and they were getting rid of them all for £1 each. So I was very pleased with that. So this is another corner I've been working on. This is the rose from home. This is James Galway. I said before it fell into 3 pieces when I dug it up. And so there we are, there's 2 pieces, and the other pieces we've seen through there. Got a bamboo going, that's also from home. The excess one I split. We've got a lovely Fatsia there. These new leaves are coming through. It's like the spider's web one. I think it's called spider or something. Little new leaves. They look a bit frazzled, but actually it's just the way they grow. Little brown underside, and they'll turn into these eventually. This nice green speckled colour. There's a Tetrapanax Rex, and I'm hoping this is going to get gigantic. It's in the right conditions for it because the sun always hits the wall here really well, and it gets really hot, and there's just kind of conditions it likes. The black bamboo there, that one's in a pot, so I don't want it to take over. Lovely tulips from last year, or the year before, all looking nice. There's the wheelbarrows full of leaf mould, which is going on. You can see the cardoon is looking pretty. That's going to get bigger and bigger. Can't believe that's just grown in the last few weeks to that size, really. It's quite something. Daffodils there, lots of those. And I think it's all coming together now. It's starting to look really pretty again. So what we've got are some plants and bits and pieces. We're actually working out here at the moment. So you can see the lovely bucket there, putting weeds and things in, and captured snails which we removed to elsewhere. We've got some irises in the pond, or the fountain, and they're coming on. They're blue ones and they help keep the water clean. Let's have a little look around there. Some foxgloves in the tray been growing last year. All sorts happening. The pear trees here, the rounded ones are looking really nice and coming into their own. Let's have a look around the other corner. So what I've been doing down here is taking the old lavender hedge out, which had died, unfortunately, but it's a little bit dark down here for it, and it was very old. And what we have left now is this gorgeous pear tree, only about 20 years old, but it's been trained to grow along the walls like this. Lovely flowers, and it does fruit really well. I think it's a conference, this one, and there's another one up there, but it doesn't flower so well, so I'm just wondering what's going on. Anyway, so what I'm doing is making a new flower bed. Got a little yew tree here which I've moved. Oops. And when that gets bigger, I'm going to turn it into a shape. So when you walk down this path here, it'll be a focal point. And even though I've got a little statue there, I like to think she's just kind of watching from the corner, unawares. So I'm going to put some nice plants in here, some ferns. I've got some persicaria there, superbum. I may pinch some of these plants out of these beds and move them into there. You see, I'm not short of plants in here anymore, like I used to be. So we'll get that all planted up, and you'll never know it was bare earth in a couple of weeks. It'll knit together and look really nice. Here we are in the other corner. There's plenty of corners here. This is the darker side, the shadier side of the walled garden, and the plants are doing really well. The hedge isn't so much, but I'm going to make a video about box blight because that's really had a real problem with it this last year. And I've sprayed it, but I'll make a video so you can learn more about that soon. You can see all the polyanthus down there. The mulch makes a real difference. There's Alice, some more tulips. My favourite two are just down there. Can you see these ones here? They're really beautiful. Orange, almost like paprika coloured. I'll just show you those now. I've just laid out a few plants which I've found growing here and there. I dug a few up, bits and pieces, and I've laid them out. I'm just going to put them in now. Some foxgloves, polyanthus, nautia, ferns, this persicaria, a lovely little saxifrage there. It was actually bought as a house plant, but these do really well outside because they're fairly hardy. And see, it's got some little runners there which will make new plants. There's some old hyacinths I'm going to put in. They'll flower for next year. Euonymus, Brunnera, that's persicaria again, all sorts in here. So these will fill out and fill up the space, and it'll look really nice in a few weeks. Well, I think that's looking better. I've put in all the plants. I've been round and found some extra bits and pieces I've got going on here and there. Some tiny foxgloves, some lunaria, variegated honesty. They'll grow and flower next year. There's some aquilesias that I've grown from seed. Bits of ajuga. This one here and the black scallop. I've pinched a bit off the other plant. So we've got all sorts going on. It kind of merges into this bit as well quite nicely. So here we are, finished little bed. So you'll have to come back in a couple of weeks or so and we'll see how it's looking. It should be looking pretty and quite attractive. So yeah, thank you for watching this little segment. urns are really nice because they're about my height. They look really pretty. I planted them up in the winter with daffodils, tulips and some ivy and some violas as well. So they're just going to start to look really nice in a week or so. I planted some hostas in this very old container. You can see they're just coming through now. These are big hostas, so when it comes to the time you won't see any of the gravel here. It'll all be hidden. Now we have some more urns there. There's some Narcissus caniculatus and tulips, daffodils and some little muscari called Janet. No, not Janet. Julia, that's it. Really pretty. Shall we have a little look? These tulips are slightly going over. They put on a good show. They've been quite weather beaten. It's just rained every day, as I keep saying, and they've taken a bit of a battering, but they still look really pretty. A couple of years ago there wasn't a flower bed here. This was just grass and some old shrubs. So if I stand up now you can see how pretty it's looking. Full of tulips, polyanthus, all sorts of plants growing, hellebores. I really love this Narcissus daffodil. It's called orange juice. Such a nice flower. Look, I've got my gloves on. Pulmonarias here. All sorts coming up. And some dicentra or lamprocampanus as they call it now, growing there. Looking nice. Also called bleeding heart. Really pretty plant. Just dances in the wind. There's a brunner behind it to complement the pink. Some white of the polyanthus sets it off, and they're good because they come every year. Just leave them to it. This little area of the garden's been neglected. It's actually the entrance. It's a very long driveway. So what I've tried to do is make it look better. We've put some old tulips in. I've got a yew tree there which will be shaped eventually. There was this old Lanicera shrub here which was a mess. So what we did was prune it hard. And I've been cloud pruning it so it looks more interesting. Some perennial foxgloves there which will get quite tall. A holly tree which will get better. There's a hole in the hedge which will be filled in by some young hawthorns I planted at the bottom. And this bed a couple of years ago wasn't here. We're establishing it now with new plants, kind of things that look after themselves. It's looking nice. Got some fattias there at the back, and you can't believe me, but I got those for £1 each as well. Mr. Bargain Central here. There's a rose to grow up these canes, Pole Scarlet, which is starting now. Pulmonaria again. Some Spanish bluebells, which are okay here because they can invade this part. It's not in the countryside anymore. Roses is Sambucus Black Tower. Lots of sedums, Autumn Joy. So it should look really attractive, and there's some roses as well which are transplanted too. And at the back there's some dogwoods with the green stems and the midwinter fire one. Can't believe how big these have got actually, considering just what I paid for them. And these will fill this space in and make it look really exotic. Here we are at the front of the Old Manor House, a beautiful old building which has stood for over 350 years. The gardens are formal, softened with herbaceous planting, and in the little beds in the centre we have tulips ready to come up. This was filmed about 2 weeks ago. Well, I think that's about all for today. Thank you for joining me and getting to this point in the video. I really hope you've enjoyed watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take good care and happy gardening.